Tonight, in our coverage, as Gaza's food crisis deepens, prices skyrocket and hundreds of thousands face the risk of starvation. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Alia Batul. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and U.S. President Donald Trump have spoken for 50 minutes today. This is the first time the two leaders engaged following the imposition of U.S. trade tariffs and counter-tariffs by Canada. The call included U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, focused on trade and fentanyl. Trump has criticized Canada's fentanyl control efforts, though U.S. data shows it is not a major source. Instead, reports show Canada is seizing more drugs from the U.S. than vice versa. Canada is demanding a full reversal of the 25% tariffs, rejecting any partial reductions. Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc says Canada will not compromise on free trade. Trump's administration, on the other hand, has sent conflicting messages. Officials are hinting at potential adjustments while confirming tariffs will remain in place, possibly at a lower rate. Ontario is responding to U.S. tariffs with major retaliatory actions. The province is scraping a $100 million deal with Starlink, banning U.S. firms from government contracts, and imposing a 25% surcharge on electricity to U.S. border states. The LCBO will remove 3,600 American alcohol products, cutting off a $1 billion market for U.S. suppliers. Premier Doug Ford is urging Ontarians to buy Canadian and is warning of further measures if the trade war escalates. Ford has also pledged billions in relief funds for Ontario businesses. He has confirmed U.S. firms are barred from bidding on $30 billion in provincial contracts. The United States has arrested Mohammad Sharifullah, an Afghan national allegedly involved in the deadly August 2021 Kabul airport bombing. President Donald Trump announced in his congressional address yesterday that the arrest was made with Pakistan's help. The attack killed 13 U.S. service members and over 170 Afghan civilians during the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. Trump called the attack the most embarrassing moment in the history of the country. He thanked Pakistan for aiding in the arrest. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif acknowledges Islamabad's role. The Prime Minister has confirmed that Sharifullah is a senior commander of Islamic State Khorasan province. He was captured in an operation along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border. The arrest underscores Pakistan's concerns over militant groups operating from Afghan territory, a claim Afghanistan's Taliban government has repeatedly denied. CIA Director John Radcliffe has reportedly raised the issue with Pakistan's intelligence chief soon after taking office. Relations between the U.S. and Pakistan have been lukewarm in recent years due to Islamabad's growing ties with China. Experts suggest this counterterrorism cooperation could signal renewed engagement. However, analysts caution that while military ties remain strong, broader diplomatic relations still require significant rebuilding. Russia has reportedly agreed to broker talks between the U.S. and Iran, following a request U.S. President Donald Trump made to Russian President Vladimir Putin in February. Shortly after, U.S. and Russian officials met in Saudi Arabia to discuss Iran's nuclear program and its support for anti-U.S. groups. The meeting includes Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. The Kremlin has confirmed its support for U.S.-Iran talks. Iran's foreign ministry has acknowledged outside interest in mediation but did not confirm direct talks. Trump continues his maximum pressure strategy on Iran, but insists he prefers diplomacy. His soft stance on Russia has drawn criticism, especially amid tensions with Ukraine. Analysts suggest these talks could mark a shift in U.S. foreign policy, though Washington has not officially commented on the report. The United Nations warns that the food prices in Gaza have risen sharply after Israel has blocked humanitarian aid. It says the essential supplies are running dangerously low. Flour and vegetable prices have more than doubled. UN estimates show if blockade continues, at least 80 community kitchens may run out of stock, affecting 500,000 people. Aid organizations are reducing meal portions to stretch dwindling supplies. This comes as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has halted aid deliveries, accusing Hamas of taking supplies and rejecting a United States-backed ceasefire extension. Hamas dismisses the claims as an attempt at political pressure. The foreign ministers of France, Germany, and the United Kingdom condemn Israel's actions. They are calling the humanitarian crisis severe and warning that restricting aid could violate international law. Since the blockade, food prices have surged overnight. In Khan Yunis, a carton of 30 eggs has risen by 150%. In Gaza City, sugar prices have increased 5 times. Residents say they cannot afford basic goods, with many blaming merchants for taking advantage of the situation. Doctors Without Borders have denounced the aid cutoff as unacceptable and warned of severe consequences. Qatar and Egypt, key ceasefire mediators, condemn Israel's move, calling it a violation of international law. Arab leaders have put forward a 5-year, $53 billion plan to rebuild Gaza without displacing Palestinians. The plan aims to counter U.S. President Donald Trump's suggestion of taking control of the enclave. Israel has rejected Egypt's proposal, calling it unrealistic, while the White House has reaffirmed Trump's stance on Gaza. At the summit, Arab leaders condemned Israel's blockade and starvation tactics. The group announced a legal committee to investigate whether Israel's actions constitute genocide. Hamas welcomes the Arab initiative. The group agreed to its conditions of elections and to stay out of Gaza's administration but refused to disarm. Palestinian authorities report that 3/4 of Gaza's buildings have been destroyed. 48% of Rafah's structures have been damaged, despite it being designated a safe zone. In the West Bank, Israeli forces have demolished 2 Palestinian homes in Hebron and injured 4 people in Ramallah during a raid. 2 women have also been assaulted in the operation. The Palestinian Media Office says the true toll of Israel's war is at least 61,709, with thousands still missing under the rubble. More than 111,803 have been injured. Jordanian officials have confirmed that security forces shot and killed an Indian man attempting to illegally cross into Israel last month. The 47-year-old Thomas Gabriel Pereira has arrived in Jordan from Kerala, India on a tourist visa on February 5th. He was a part of a group of 4 individuals. He and his companion, identified as Edison, were reportedly lured by an Indian contact who promised them high-paying jobs in Israel. Both men, former auto rickshaw drivers, paid nearly $2,500 up front, with monthly payments upon securing employment. On February 10th, the pair attempted to cross the Jordan-Israel border, but ignored security warnings. Jordanian forces opened fire, fatally shooting Pereira in the head. Edison sustained injuries, but survived. He is facing legal action in Jordan and was deported to India on February 28th. Animal activists are raising concerns over live birds kept in cages at Woodside Square Mall in Scarborough, Ontario. The exhibit features toucans, hornbills, owls, and parakeets housed in 8 large cages across the mall. Activists argue the conditions are unsuitable. Animal rescuer Pia Sarkar calls the setup inhumane and antiquated. Wildlife advocate Rob Layla warns that the noisy, high-traffic environment causes stress and lacks proper shelter for the birds. Following complaints, Ontario's Animal Welfare Services has launched an investigation, issuing 12 orders for improvements. The mall has since added hiding spaces, toys, and nighttime curtains, but activists say the changes are insufficient as the birds still lack space and natural surroundings. Mall representatives defend the exhibit, saying it is for educational purposes and provides seniors with a relaxing environment. Despite criticism, the mall has no plans to remove the birds, insisting they comply with regulations. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News Canada. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV.